everybody. Welcome to another episode of Pilot. Me and Stuart are back. How are you, Stuart? How you been?
I'm doing good. I'm ready to get into it.
Yes, and I'll let you start first, man, because it's been a long time. I've been doing shows. I want to hear from you, man. How you been? What's your topic? What should we talk about?
I've been feeling like doing a little. I don't know if I want to call it a rant, but
Yes,
just a little like kind of a good. I think it's going to be a goodbye to Marvel. You know,
mm-hmm.
um,
it's time.
I will say I'm totally on board for Guardians 3. Like I'm ready for that. I think that may be the last Marvel movie that like I make the effort to go see in the theater. You know, I feel like Phase 4 has been like really lackluster for me. And it's also just one of those things where it's like, for me, Endgame felt like the end. And I went like this past week, I went and finally saw Quantumania, which I thought was going to be really cool because the trailer looked really cool, and I was like, wow, this is probably going to be like a sort of like a return to form, because like the new Doctor Strange movie was like pretty good. Like that was like probably one of the best of like the recent like group. And I was like, oh, Quantumania is going to like, you know, that's going to be another like good one. Maybe it'll even beat Multiverse of Madness. I don't know. But I went and saw it and I was just kind of like, this is fine, you know? And I feel like pretty much all of the other ones, my reaction, except for like Multiverse of Madness, my reaction for all the other Phase 4 movies has been, this is fine, you know? And the other day it just like this concept popped into my head, like everything has a moment of time in your life. It's that song that, you know, to everything, turn, 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 there is a season or whatever.
Yeah.
And I feel like after I got out of Quantumania and feeling like it's just kind of like, it's just fine, I can put a close on that season, you know? Between Phase 4 and the TV shows, like the only two TV shows that I really liked were Loki and WandaVision. And there's not going to be another WandaVision. There's a second season of Loki, but there's no more WandaVision because that was just like one thing to like bridge a gap between Endgame and Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to, and I don't, you know, I'm not trying to say this as a way to like discourage anybody else from watching those, but like I think for me, I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I think I'm ready to be done.
Yeah, I understand what you're coming from, because I feel like Phase 4 was, for me at least, was like goodwill. Like I'll stick with you for this time, but we'll see where you go. And it's been pretty lackluster because Shang-Chi, I felt like fumbled the ball. It had a good first act that was like really good, and then it went blah. I don't even remember what happens in the movie. And then I watched that Winter Soldier TV show. Not that great. Not that great. Fumbled the ball really bad. WandaVision, beautiful, great, but it kind of went towards generic movie villain of the week at the end. Fumbled the ball again. Loki, damn it. I as much as I like that show, it was. Here's the thing with Loki. Like, if it focused on doing a realistic story for what it was, the person they should have saw at the end was another Loki. That was the only thing that would make sense, because of course the person at the end who's in control of everything would be a variant of Loki, and it would be a closure of that, like get rid of that bad Loki. You know, that's the only thing that makes sense story-wise. But no, they did it to introduce whoever this Chang or Kang. Who cares? Who cares at this point? Because it's like, I don't care now, because he's supposed to be this big giant bad guy that we're all like scared of, and it's like I don't care. I don't even know who he is. And then what else came out? We had Internals.
Yeah.
Good idea and concept. But it was like a TV show that they squeezed into 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. And again, since it's stuck in this Marvel universe, they can't dive deep into it. Like, I felt like that show, like, excuse like my, dumb brain or lack of way to say it, but I felt like it needed more sex, honestly. With those immortals, like they're all have feelings for each other, but none of them really express it. I think there's like one kind of sex scene, like in a sunset, kind of dark, can't see anything, but I like, you watch the Watchmen TV show, you know what I'm talking about. There's like tons of
Yeah.
sex in that. That was what's missing from that Eternals movie, or a movie, TV show, basically. But that's what's missing from it. It's missing that human connection between all those characters. And I feel like a lot of those people just needed to fuck. Like, honestly, like they just needed to fuck. And they can't do that because it's like the PG Marvel universe. And they have to put all the generic crap in there because I feel like it didn't even need a generic villain. It just needed with them to deal with living for so long and not being able to do anything. I don't know.
Right.
There's like bigger concepts in that show, and it was surprisingly more sci-fi than I anticipated because they're technically aliens. They're not even like human beings or anything like that. They hardly grasp the concept of humanity, and I don't know. It needed that because I saw a lot of Watchmen stuff to that one that they could have dove deep into, having more character backgrounds, more flashbacks, but they only could do so much in that 2 hours, and they really couldn't do much with it. And out of all the Marvel movies, I feel like that's the one where I was like, even though I haven't seen it since the theater, I feel like that's the one, like there was something there, but you couldn't figure it out, or you didn't have the time or something. I don't know. They didn't have the faith. I don't know. I felt like they should have had something there. I didn't even watch Hawkeye. I didn't watch the Moonraker. What's it called?
Oh, yeah, Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
That was, man, I hate to say this, like I feel like a lot of people really like that one, but
yeah,
that ended up being a huge disappointment for me.
Yeah,
because it's like you've got Oscar Isaac, you've got Ethan Hawke. Like it's a really cool idea, but it just, the whole series never felt like it took off for me.
Yeah, once you get Ethan Hawke, I thought, oh damn, they got to do something with it, but I didn't hear anything from it. I didn't really hear much from the show. Another show that like disappeared and came and went was She-Hulk. Where'd that go? I know a lot of people talked about it when it first started, but like evaporated in the mist, gone.
Yeah.
That Doctor Strange one, at first I didn't like it, but then I saw it in IMAX and I'm like, oh, this is the I always joke that, but I finally saw the whole movie because in IMAX, like the screen opened up. I'm like, oh geez, they really took in mind for the IMAX screen. And not only that, but I could see all the colors because I shit you not, I think the theatrical changed the colors and color temperature, because on the big screen one, that felt like a Raimi movie, like the IMAX. That was great. And then Thor, Love and Thunder, awful.
Yeah.
Nobody cared about that movie. You could tell the director didn't care. The editor didn't care. Nobody cared. I can't even, there's like no really positive things to say about Thor, Love and Thunder. Like nothing. I can't.
It was almost like a Chekhov movie, like, okay, well, I saw that one,
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I walked out of the theater. I was like, well, I saw that one,
Yeah. And then I didn't even see Ant-Man. I wasn't even going on. I'm like, by then I'm checked out. I'm sick. I gave you chances and you fumbled it. I can't take it anymore. So I didn't see Quantumania. I was shocked you actually went to see it, honestly. I'm like, that's not a Stewart movie. Why is Stewart there? Who would have been?
It's like I have tried to see all the Marvel movies like in the theater,
Okay.
Like, they're made for that big screen and the good sound and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the thing for me is like, I feel like at this point, I'd probably be fine at this point just watching stuff on Disney Plus, if I even want to see it.
And I agree with you with Guardians. Guardians is, I almost don't even consider it Marvel because they're so separated from the movies.
The first one at that time felt so different from all those other movies. That it didn't even, like you said, like it didn't even feel like it was a piece with, the rest of the MCU.
Yeah, I feel like they're more connected as a series than the other movies, where I feel like, for example, Iron Man, his trilogy, it's the same goddamn lesson. He's got to stop relying on his technology. It's the same lesson in all three movies where it's like, stop depending on the technology. But with the Guardians movies, I feel like it's a different lesson learned every time. Yeah. And there's a through line through all each movies. There's like a connection. It's almost like you don't even have to see the other Marvel movies. These Guardian movies are in line with each other. And I think that's their strength, honestly, because I feel like the other sequels, it's like you need to know what happened, and you need to know what happened in like Civil War or Avengers 2 or whatnot in order to understand them. But the Guardians, I feel like you don't really need that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad you're saying goodbye. That's good. That's
yeah.
good.
And I know this is probably kind of weird to say, but like another thing that kind of like solidified it for me was like that first Guardians 3 trailer that came out with like the remix of the Space Hog song.
Yep.
Which like I think you were probably too young to remember that song, but like I was a teenager when that song came out. And that specific song is very like nostalgic for me, because that was the point where I was like, growing up and like my own tastes were like coming together, music, movies, all that kind of stuff. It was all starting to like come together. And so this sort of like sadder remix of it, mixed with that nostalgia, mixed with this whole theme of like the clear theme of that movie is like, this is done. Like we are putting a bookend on Guardians, like this crew, like maybe some of the characters will make it, but more than likely, like this crew is done. Like, not going to make it out alive, probably.
Nope, probably not.
And I was like, you know what? That feels like a great place to just end it.
Yes, I agree. So the next topic is, I guess we're going to go to mine, right, Stuart? Okay, I'm creating my new YouTube channel, and I think it's been going okay so far. Before the show, we were going to talk about like several things. I'm like, oh, hang on, I'll hold that for the show. But it's been very interesting trying to like book guests and like prepare for that, because as I've been doing that more often, the more I have to realize, I'm like, okay, I could just record on that day and then maybe move that episode later on, because there was like that one weekend where I had like 3 shows where I'm like, okay, so now what can I learn from this? It's like, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to have 2 shows on the same weekend. So what I'm trying to do is like book a guest and then trying to figure out where do I place that episode now. Like right now I have 2 guests coming up. My friend Tara, who I just recently reconnected with, she has her own business and whatnot. And she has her own personal life, because I was trying to book him. Like, how's this week? Now I know that's Easter, so let's not guess for that. How about the next week? Oh, you're doing something that weekend and you're hanging out. Okay, how about this weekend? Okay, that weekend works. Okay. So it's like, okay, you're only available on Monday. And what time? Noon? And she said, no, I'll get changed. I'm like, no, I'm going to book around you. So if you were free a Monday at noon, I'm going to do that, because like there's no point of doing it at 6 p.m. Monday, because no one's going to be watching then anyway. So it's like, we'll just record at noon when you're comfortable and have time, because your kids will be at work, or your kids will be at school, and your kids will be at school, so you don't have to worry about them, and we could do it, the show during that time. So it's been interesting to book, and then like not hearing back from people where it's like, oh geez, they didn't hear, but they're so busy. They're like, wait, I want to do the show, but it's like, how about we do it this time? It's like, okay, I'll work that. Because my friend Jasmine, she's in Paris, France, and she only had like 2 weekends open. They're both Saturdays, and there it's like 5 or 6 p.m., but here it's like 10:30. And I'm awful at getting up early on Saturday. Usually I stay up late, but I'm like, okay, I can do that though. That means don't stay up late Friday, be early for that show, but then post that show later, So that's the thing I'm working on as well. And yeah, it's just been interesting trying to do the weekly show. I might stop doing weekly. I'm not sure, because the algorithm, I don't know if that'll mess me over if I miss a Sunday. You know what I mean? Because then the ratings will go down and I won't get promoted or whatever. And the same thing with the Ireland collection. Oh my God. I'm on the skin of my teeth for that show, the Ireland collection. Like, I have no episode this week. I have to record. And it's terrible of me. I shouldn't be doing that, but like, it's still going on, and it's still going strong for the most part. I've noticed that the algorithm really likes classic movies, Terminator. Loaded Weapon, Page Master. It's like, okay, those are huge bank, but when I do a little video on Mouse Hunt or Breakdown, nobody cares. The algorithm does not care about Breakdown or Mouse Hunt. But yeah,
it's the truth, man. I mean, you can look at any one of the Frank's List videos and you can see it in there.
Yes.
It's like there's some of those videos where like even all these years later, they have like less than 50 views.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's the one like Cary Grant movie that has like like almost 30,000 views. It's like I don't even know how that happened, you know, but for some reason, like some titles, and oddly enough, Bulworth seems to be a relatively popular title.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one seems to get like regular views. But yeah, it really all does depend on. I think there's probably a group of films that are just sort of like standard canon for like normies, I guess.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's like, you know, your Terminators and your Back to the Futures and all great films, but it's like they're the ones that like most get seen the most.
Yes,
you know,
the people look up the most.
Yeah. So
because I was going through my Criterions and I wanted to know a little bit more about Miller's Crossing. So Stuart, I want to let you know, on a little secret. No one makes videos on Miller's Crossing, and I'm shocked. there's like two videos, and I'm like, that's a gold mine. That's a gold mine. If we start making videos on Miller's Crossing, we'll get views because there's only two of them out there, and I know you're A Fair to Remember. I'm sure you're one of the 3 or 2 videos out there about A Fair to Remember. So that's why I'm like, there's gold in them hills.
You're gonna hit the jackpot and get those 30,000 views with your Miller's Crossing video.
Oh my god! But seriously, Stuart. So I want to thank you for your channel because you really have inspired me how I approach my videos. Like, okay, so like every Monday noon because everyone's on lunch break. That seems great. And then I'll go live on Sunday because I'm trying to avoid my other friend shows. Because on Wednesdays, that's my friend Luke. I don't want to interfere. Mm-hmm. On Saturdays, it's my friend Anthony. Don't interfere. And then at the time, I thought you're still making videos. I'm like, Thursday, don't interfere with Stuart. That's his day of rest. Don't do it.
His day of rest.
That's his day of rest. Oh my God, I was so excited, Stuart. Like this week, I was like, oh, Thursday. And then I was like, what happened? Nothing happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was literally just waiting for the rest of it to come in.
Yeah.
Like, because I wanted to do everything at once. And then you said something to me and I was like, maybe I should split them. And I was like, okay, well, why did I wait then?
That was the funny thing too, because I was like, God damn, because I ordered these movies and like right away they showed up. Mm-hmm. But like for some reason, freaking Wally and Hollywood Shuffle didn't show up. I'm like, well, I'm not waiting for 2 movies. I'll mention them at the end, but I'm gonna go on. So I went with it, did my haul video, and like literally, like I think I recorded that Saturday night, Monday morning posted, and I was like, oh, here comes Stuart. Here he comes, because like my friend, I would call her Elizabeth. Her name's Elizabeth, but I'll call her Elizabeth just because of Dracula. But she got her haul. So I'm like, Stuart must have his. And I'm going to see it on Thursday. And he's going to be like, here, fam, here's my haul. And like, show it out. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen.
I'm going to do my stereotypical thumbnail.
I like the one where you're like this. Or like because it looks like a big giant Wendy's burger. Because you're like, it's great. You're inspired by your Bill Oakley. Yeah, you inspire me with that haul video because I was like, okay, how does Stuart do it? He just goes through it, gives a little opinion, and moves on. I was like, okay, I'm going to do that for my haul videos.
I think a lot of that came from this guy that I watch called Just the Discs. And he's kind of changed his format now, where it's like instead of doing a video where he does like 5 or 6 titles, he'll do like a video for every like 2 titles. So that he can talk more about it. But the thing about it is, man, is like what I've realized about the physical media videos is that people aren't really that interested in you going like hardcore into depth unless you're doing like a video about like one movie. You know, if you got like 6 movies or 8 movies or however many you've got in a video, it's like you kind of have to move it along. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to lose people, you know?
Yeah. I think I did okay with mine because that's like 14 minutes. Here's the thing, too, with my Ireland collection. I think I've said it on my other streams, but I'm going to say it here. But like when I record those Ireland collections, they're like 20 or 30 minute videos and I chop them down. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not sentimental. I'm like, that story goes on too long. I don't need that. I'm repeating myself, or like, that's okay if I cut out that story, or it's okay if I cut out my favorite part. It's like, let's
Yeah.
get it going. Let's get it going. Because what I've been trying to avoid for the most part is just plot synopsis. Because I've realized with some videos, because I remember I would look up videos about like Mouse Hunt, just, just interesting. I want to know about behind the scenes. And a lot of the Mouse Hunt videos are just like plot synopsis with like 3 sentences
Yeah.
at the end of like, yeah, I think it's good. Go see it. And then the video's over. I'm like, are you kidding me? You just talked about the whole movie. I don't like, so that's why I try to avoid with the Ireland collection. It's like, I'm telling you why I like it. And
Yeah, that's what I've always tried to do with my videos,
mhm.
because yeah, I've noticed that there are a ton of videos where it's like people will spend, literally like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and they will describe the entire plot of the movie. And it's like, I don't want you to describe the movie to me. That's why I watch the movie.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me what you think about the movie. Like, that's
Yes.
what I'm here for. So
Mhm.
that's like why with the Frank's list videos
Mhm.
and the other like review videos that I did, it was like
Mhm.
I always tried to keep the plot synopsis to like maybe
30
two or three
seconds.
sentences. It's just
Yeah.
like a tease, and
Yeah.
that's it.
That's what I appreciate about your videos too, because it's literally like 30 seconds maybe where you just talk about the plot synopsis and you're rolling. And it
Yeah.
always cracked me up about your comments because whenever audience, I go to Stuart's videos often where it's like whenever I need inspiration for my videos, I'm like, I'm going to go to his, I'm going to go to church. And I watch his videos, and it's so funny reading the comments because I guess they're expecting like a retrospective, and it's like, that's not what it is. It's clearly not that. It's just a
Yeah.
guy who's like, my friend told me to watch this, so I'm telling you why I watched it. But they still expect like, where's the plot synopsis? Tell me the secrets, Jimmy.
Yeah. They want me to make the Wikipedia article version of
Yeah.
it. It's like that's not really what this
No,
is.
no.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like you just want to say how much October Sky connected to you. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I want yeah. Okay. We got to take a second to talk about YouTube comments, because
Yes.
first of all, that October Sky one is like just like burned into my mind, like how ridiculous that comment was. Like, I don't remember the word for word, but it was like it was complaining about the
Yeah.
fact that like, I was personal for, is like, that's the whole point. Like, that's why I make these videos,
Yeah.
is to help you to understand like why I like the movie.
Right.
It's not just to tell you what the movie is,
Right.
because that would be pointless.
Right.
And then like I haven't told you this, but I thought this like this actually made me laugh.
Okay.
The other day, like in like the back end like of YouTube Studio,
Mhm.
you have the like little comments section that you can click on. And then there's like the regular comments, and then there's like the held for review comments.
Oh God, you had Helver for a review?
Yeah. So I never honestly, like, I never really checked the held for review, because I'm like,
Mhm.
if it's on there, like, that's probably not worth looking at or whatever. But I was just curious because I hadn't looked at it in such a long time. I was like, I wonder if there are any in there. So I clicked on it. So Street Kings, in that video, I basically talked about how, I didn't really like that guy, the guy who directed it. I don't really
Mhm.
like his movies
Yeah.
except for like Fury. Like, I really love Fury, and I like Training Day, which he wrote.
Mhm.
But and I had some complaints about Street Kings, but ultimately I kind of ended it with like, but I actually like kind of liked Street Kings. Like, it's the
Yeah.
best one of like
The 3 I
of
picked for you because it was like
yeah,
it was a Harsh Times and Deep Blue or Dark Blue
dark blue,
and
yeah.
and
Mhm.
then Street Kings. And out of the 3, I agree. Street Kings is probably the best out of those 3. So like
Yeah. And there was this is like so ridiculous. It's funny to me. There was this comment, and it said like, there was just a bunch of words, and it said like loser, cuck, soy boy, like all this like standard internet, like, I don't like you, so I'm going to call you all these names. And this person was basically saying that I was that for not liking Street Kings. And I'm like, I literally say in the video that I liked the movie. Like, I didn't love it. I wasn't over the moon about it, but I mean, it's
you
the
liked
best
it.
one.
It's fine.
Out of that
It's
group.
fine. Yeah, it's okay. Like, if you have an hour or two, that's an okay movie to watch.
Yeah.
It's not terrible.
And there was another one that came in. I get these like every, like, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks. There will be some like negative comment that pops up on one of these older videos. This one was about Alaska.
Oh my god!
And it was actually, I think it's still up. I didn't delete it or anything. I mean, if they're really bad, like, I'll delete them and like kick that person off the channel, basically. But this one was on Alaska, and the person says, I myself, for one, enjoyed watching the movie of Alaska growing up, and I still love this movie still to this very day. And I don't give a scrap heap of how laughably bad the film is to them. I say bullocks. So in other words, like, he is upset about your the little Twitter thing. Remember, like, each one had a little Twitter thing on it. So he's upset about what you said on your little Twitter thing about it. Because I was reading that and I was like, now I know that I was positive about Alaska. Because I remember being very surprised that I actually liked that film.
Yeah, because what I said was, because on the tweet I wrote, literally just watch this. Tell me if you find the dad falling out of the plane unintentionally funny. I laughed my ass off. Also, the cinematography is TV-able. I have to watch the movie again, but I'm pretty sure I did laugh my ass off when the dad fell out the plane. Oh my god. Oh, and like, he's talking about me because like you had a good review on it, because I remember you liked it surprisingly. I'm like, oh, that's surprising. Stuart liked it.
Yeah, but it's just stuff like that. It's like, I don't know how to say this without being like really terrible, but it's like, I don't care. I don't care like what at 15 Willy Wonka 1 says about this. I don't care. It's like, these videos are like my opinion. If you don't agree with it, fine. Go somewhere else. Watch somebody else's videos.
I like Street Kings. I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. Well, yeah, I've been getting used to I haven't had any bad comments yet. I think the worst thing that's happened so far is I got a dislike on my X-Men video, and I don't know why. Because I'm pretty positive about X-Men. I don't do a plot synopsis. That could be it. Maybe my little jab at the MCU was too much. I don't know, but I got a thumbs down on my X-Men video, and I don't get it. That's the worst I've had so far. Everything else is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about the Criterion halls then.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay, so do you want me to go first, or you go first?
Why don't you go first?
Yeah, okay.
This is your big intro to Criterion halls.
Yes, because usually for Criterion halls, for the folks at home, what I usually do is just wait for the Barnes & Noble one. And usually the Barnes & Noble one, I only get 2, because I'm like, I'll get 2. But this one, where it's like, you know what, I have some extra cash lying around, and it's the website Criterion sale, so this is different. They're going to have things that Barnes & Noble doesn't have. For example, go ahead.
And
the point system,
loyalty points.
Yes, when I saw that, I'm like, oh, they want me to be like, I need my Criterions.
And you mentioned me by name in your freaking video.
I have to, because
when you did that, I almost fell out of my chair laughing.
It was so okay. So for the folks at home who probably didn't watch that, in my Criterion hall, I mentioned Stuart because I asked Stuart. I think I either DM'd him, tweeted him on a phone call, text message, something. I'm like, Stuart, tell me your secrets. And you're like, I don't know, man. I don't know. They have it at different times of the year. I don't know. You just got to follow the Twitter pages for notifications. Like, okay, yeah. I'll do that. And then all of a sudden, Shout Factory, DVD Bollock. I'm like, this is like a coordinated attack. And I think even at the end of the month, they were still happening. I think like Arrow Collection or whatever, and some other company. I was like, oh geez, yeah, March is the month.
Yeah.
Clearly, March is the month. And Stuart's like, I don't know. It happens every year. But
I don't know why, but they all do it. They all do it in March. In fact, Kino Lorber, I was expecting Kino Lorber to do one because they did one last year called the March into April sale.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that too because I remember what you called it. I was like, okay, so it's coming.
Yeah. But for some reason, they didn't do that year. But like literally everybody else, except Vinegar Syndrome, because Vinegar Syndrome only does 2 sales a year.
They had a sale this year because that's how I pre-ordered Showgirls on 4K. Because I almost wasn't going to do it because I hate doing pre-order, but I saw the pre-order was like, so the pre-order is like $40 with shipping. It's like $50. So basically, I'm saving like $20 or $30 because the regular price is going to be probably $70. At retail. So I was like, shit, I got to take advantage of this. So last week I pre-ordered Showgirls on 4K because I need that movie on 4K. I need that movie on 4K. It's Showgirls. Like I have the hat. I bought it at Versace. Like I love that movie. It's great. But yeah, it's like I noticed it now thanks to you because like Stuart's the man. Stuart knows he's got his ear to the ground with these things. He's like Bill Paxton in Twister. Stuart picks up the dirt on the side of the road and puts it out there. He says, okay, we got it. The Twister's that way. So I bought through the Criterion website, created an account, started it, got my loyalty points, loved it so much. I actually went back and bought 2 more. So I'm going to quickly read through them. Rushmore. This one is never available at Barnes & Noble in person. And even on the website, it's out of print, but like it's on the Criterion channel website. So I was like, damn. So that I finally got that. Not only that, but a lot of the times I remember now why I usually don't buy it is because usually it's just on DVD, and it's like I don't want the DVD. I want to watch Max Fisher on Blu-ray. So there's that. Badlands, another one that's never in person at Barnes & Noble, usually sold out on the website. Had to get it through the Criterion website, and finally, it's like Even when I was watching the movie and that little piano theme comes in, I was like, True Romance. It's all those movies. This is where it came from.
Masterpiece.
Okay, and we'll talk about. We'll get to it. We'll ask about it. Let me get through these movies first because I want to talk about all these at some point. Mad World. I think this is freshly new to the Criterion. I think
it's. I have to say, like, I didn't even realize that was on Criterion until I saw your video.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
Apparently, this was added in 2017. It says it on the back. But yeah, when I got this, I was like, I have to get that. Damn. Some Like It Hot. Damn, this movie is a perfect film. I can't believe it. And Billy Wilder can do anything because I didn't know he did Sabrina. I did not know he did Ace in a Hole. So when I was like, he does all these movies in Sunset Boulevard, give me my close up. Like, this guy could do it all. Like, fuck Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, he keeps making the same kind of shit. This guy, like, he's going from genre to genre. He's making Ace in the Hole, a freaking like dark kind of cynical movie, and then he does like an awesome comedy, Some Like It Hot, and then he does like an old man movie like Sabrina. And then Sunset Boulevard, which is just great. Great. Hang on. Let me pile these up. Probably not. No, hang on. Okay. And then this one, Hedwig, finally watched it. This one was added in 2019. Freshly one. This one was in 2020. Girlfriends. I definitely want to talk about this too. Hang on. Let's get through all these. High Sierra. Got that one. Fight it in your heart. Miller's Crossing. I'm telling you, there's gold in these mountains. No one talks about this movie. I want to make a video on this, honestly. And then the last 2, because I made that order, and I'm like, I can't wait 6 months. I can't even wait till July when they usually do it at Barnes & Noble. So I had to get Wally and Hollywood Shuffle. But yeah, that was my haul. How was your haul?
Okay.
Here we go. This is hot scoop, fresh.
I'm gonna go with what I initially.
Oh, you did the same thing I did too. You got your first order, and then you ordered more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was my fault too. I'll take blame for that.
It literally was your fault. Like when you said you went back, I was like, I'm going back.
You have to go back because
We have
that's what
to go back to the island, Jack.
we have to go back.
First up is one that I cannot believe is even on Blu-ray at all, much less on the Criterion collection. But Inland Empire,
Yes.
A 3-hour movie that nobody can tell you what it's about. If anybody tells you that they know what Inland Empire is about, they're lying.
They're lying.
Next up is the 4K of Power of the Dog.
Netflix movie.
Yeah, but honestly, like pretty amazing. Like,
yeah,
the streaming movies are mostly like not great, but this one is incredible. And it kills me to this day. They played this for a week at my like local art house, and I didn't go see it. And then I watched it on Netflix, and I was like, "This is gorgeous." And I would have loved to have seen it on the big screen, and I didn't. So next up is one that's been on my wish list for forever, and I kept saying like, "Oh, I'll get it later. I'll get it later. I'll get it later." And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get this now because I don't want to take the risk of it going out of print after having wanted it for years and years and years. But it's Orson Welles' F for Fake.
Ooh, yeah.
This is a kind of a documentary, but there's also like a narrative aspect of it. It's all about counterfeiting.
Yes.
Really, really interesting. You know, a lot of people would probably be like, well, are you really going to watch that a second time? It's incredibly rewatchable, oddly enough. I think a lot of that is because of Orson's like humor in it. It's a very funny film. So next up was a blind buy. It is 2 films by Marguerite Duras, India Song and Baxter Vera Baxter. I don't know. I just heard good things about them, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I like to try and like get in some stuff that I haven't seen before, but that I've heard good things about, instead of just all buying things that I know about. Next up is the 4K for Mildred Pierce.
Ooh.
This is a movie that, like, if I would have never have thought before I watched it that I would like want to own it, but like after I watched it, I was like blown away by it. It's fantastic. It's Michael Curtiz, who's the guy who did Casablanca. I know is like one of your favorite films.
I love that movie. I love it.
Yeah. 4K of Shaft.
That was one of the ones I had to whittle away. That was one I wanted to get.
Great film, but this also comes with Shaft's big score. It also like as like on a bonus disc. So you get the first 2 Shaft movies.
Oh, that's awesome.
And this was an upgrade, 4K of Virgin Suicides.
Yeah, I know that's one of your favorite movies. Yep.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'm trying to like slowly do the upgrades like when I can. Like I want to upgrade Blowout, I want to upgrade Red Shoes. There's like a couple other ones, but since this is one of my favorite films, I decided to do that first. And then because of the loyalty points, I had a $50 gift certificate, and I got this, which I haven't seen any of these. It's the 3 Colors trilogy.
Yep. I saw that box.
Yeah, I've heard such amazing things about all 3 of these films, and I've been wanting this for a while. And this is why you buy from Criterion. This is $120, half off. It was $60.
No, it's a loyalty point.
$50 gift certificate. It was $10.
That's awesome.
So I got this and the BBS box set, which is the one that has like Last Picture Show and Head and all that stuff in it. I got both of those for $10. And so that was my initial order, and then my dip back into the well was Ghost World, which I've been wanting to get for a long time. And
that's on Criterion? Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And it actually comes with, I didn't realize this, but it comes with this cool little like comic in it that has like it has some of the stuff from Ghost World, but then it also has this little comic that's like, where are they now? It's like a continuation, just say like where Enid and I forget what her name is, Rebecca, where Enid and Rebecca are now as adults. And then
Of course, you got to get Hollywood Shuffle.
You got to get it. I've
You gotta get it.
never seen this on like a high definition version, so it's
Nope.
like I'm super excited to watch it because
Mhm.
I've always only seen like the DVD,
Yeah.
version of it. So I'm like really excited to see like a nice clean, restored version.
Yeah, when I was watching that, that's the whole reason why I think you saw my tweet and I think you liked it. But after watching that, I was like, why isn't Office Space on the Criterion? Because I feel like that is deserving. I know it's a funny movie and all, but it's like like it hits all the things. Like it's about real life people. It was a flop when it came out, and over time, people appreciate it. I'm like, that needs to be cleaned up because if the Hollywood Shuffle can get cleaned up, which looks gorgeous, by the way, I love it. I watched it recently, and I was like, it has the same kind of humor where it's like silly. I'm like, Office Space deserves like to be cleaned up on 4K with the little what's his name, Judd? What's his name?
Oh, Mike Judge.
Mike Judge autograph on the cover. I want to see that. I want to see that. It deserves it.
I could see it.
Yeah.
And last but not least is
you did the same. You did the same thing I did with the going back to the well. That's hilarious, and we didn't know that, did we? I don't think I told you.
No, I don't think so. Because you just tweeted like, "Oh, I'm going to go back and grab some other things."
So we both went back for the well for the same movies. That's crazy. I didn't even tell you. I didn't tweet about these or nothing. And when you went back to the well for the same that's crazy. Yeah, because
I've been wanting Hollywood Shuffle ever since it came out.
And same here. Yep. So. And then Wally I got because me and my friend Sarah, we do the Have You Seen This? And she picked Soul. So it was right around the same time the Criterion sale was happening. And I was like, I think Soul's the best movie since Wally. And I was like, I haven't seen Wally in years and I don't own it. And I've been wanting to get this 4K. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous, by the way. Oh my God. But yeah, that's why I went back to well for it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching that. And like I said, watching Hollywood Shuffle. So, yeah. I mean, all of these, like, I would love to just like have a couple of days off and just go through and watch all of these. But
yeah,
you have to space them out a little bit.
Yeah, you got to space them out. Because I went through all mine in a week. 2 or 3 a night. I watched them all. Yeah. There's a few I want to talk about. I just want to talk about. Let's see. First of all, I think I really want to talk about Girlfriends. That came to a shock to me because if you watch my video for the folks at home, I have no idea what it was about. I was just sold by the cover, blind watch, and it was so good. It's basic. It almost feels like a documentary because it's so low budget. Like if you ever seen the first Evil Dead, people, you know how low budget that looks. That's Girlfriends, where it just looks so ground level. Like low budget, like little camera. I think they filmed over a year because they kept running out of money. So you could tell there's like some scenes that look really great. And I'm like, okay, they got like more money at that time. And then there's some where it just looks like really grainy. I'm like, okay, they didn't have the budget. But like, just to compare it. So in Girlfriends, or I should say in a movie like Girlfriends, example, the movie Bridesmaids, where the girl erupts. She yells at the bridal shower saying, no, I don't like this. Why are you doing this in front of like 50 people, 100 people at this party? And then she just embarrasses herself with cringe. And it makes me cringe like, oh, no, why are you doing that? Why are you doubling down on it? Girlfriends, highly realistic. She does realistic things. All she does is like, she stops talking to her friend for a while just because the friend has a husband. And she's been trying to do things on her own. It's not cringe. It's not bad. But that's like the lowest point of the movie because they stop becoming friends. They have a little argument, but it's not cringe. It's not in front of 100 people. It's not falling down on their ass. It's not doubling down. It is just done realistic. Yeah. And I was shocked. I was like, damn, I wish more movies like this because I love... A lot of dramedies go like bottom of the barrel cringe where you feel it's almost like that scene from Taxi Driver when the camera moves away and you can't watch it. Exactly like that. Because it's so cringe at that moment where you can't watch, or at least I can't handle it. I don't like those movies where the main character doubles down and makes a public scene. I don't like that. It makes me uncomfortable watching it. But Girlfriends was so well done. I was like, I wish more movies were like that.
Yeah.
That was really good. I don't know if I could recommend Girlfriends because it's only 80 minutes, but I don't know if people could be able to handle like how mundane it is, but it is so good. It is
It's
so
a
good.
very like it works, I think, for a specific crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't if I had friends who, you know, who like movies but don't really like, they just kind of go and watch whatever's, the Hollywood stuff is. Like,
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't recommend Girlfriends. But
No.
if there's people, if I have friends or know people who are the kind of people who are willing to like take chances on things and like dig a little deeper and whatnot, then, I might be like, hey, you might like this.
Mhm. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
It has been several years since I've seen it, but I do
Mm.
remember really liking it.
Mhm.
I really liked the woman who played the main character.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, that's, Girlfriends is basically like that's my wheelhouse of
Mhm.
like, normal people getting into sort of like slightly heightened dramatic situations and, dealing with those, on screen. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I love. So I did enjoy it. I think, like, if I remember correctly, I think there was a point where it got kind of like, there was like a little dip in it where it's like
Mhm.
it got a little boring, but like for the most part, I think I remember liking it.
Mhm. Mhm. I
So
would agree. Yeah. Some of these like definitely were new to me, like Badlands. I guess we could go talk about Badlands. That was interesting. That was interesting because like you hear about a movie for so long and you know that it's inspired things, and then you actually watch it and it's like, damn, people stole from this movie, straight up stole. And then and I understand why Tarantino, like the original ending for True Romance, he wanted the girl to say "fuck it," because that I'm sure that's obviously reference to Badlands, where the girl's like, "I don't care about you, kid, whatever, fuck it." But like they're totally different movies. Like you could see Clarence and Alabama really falling in love with each other and enjoying company, but like the girl just goes with Kit just like as like, all right, I guess so, whatnot, and,
yeah,
and Kit has like no plan, and then it's almost like death means nothing because like whenever they kill somebody, it's just like boom, gone, gone, and it's almost
yeah.
like
Kit is like basically sort of like detached from reality.
yeah,
It's like he doesn't really he sort of just lives in the moment and like really only cares about what he wants,
yeah,
in that moment. Because it's like he's willing to kill anybody,
anybody,
you
he don't
know.
give a fuck, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie. And then at the end, because when they get caught, they're treated like weird ass celebrities. Like they're really like babying him, and like all the cops are like, yeah, give me your comb and your pen. Oh yeah, whatever you want, whatever you want, Kit, whatever you want. It was so
Yeah.
weird, and I love how I think I don't know who did it first. It was either this or Spielberg with Sugarland Express, but like they make their little low budget movie feel bigger because in Badlands he's arrested and like the whole tarmac is full of police and army men, and it makes the movie feel like this huge blockbuster that, oh my god, we finally caught these murderers. And it
Yeah.
reminded me of Spielberg and Sugarland Express, where when they're being chased there's like a whole line of police cars. Meanwhile it's probably only like 5, 10, maybe
Mhm.
15, but not that many. But they made it look like a huge line of police, and it's similar. Actually, both are similar because I think they're both like a couple on the run from the police that become heightened and like, oh, they're like celebrities. But yeah, it was an interesting piece to watch, and it's very dreamlike. I feel like a lot of his movies are that way. I think this might be my first Terrence Malick movie. Might be.
Well, there's some other good ones.
Mhm.
There's some like not so good ones, but there are some other good ones.
Yeah. And like I'm kind of hesitant to visit his other ones because I think I read your review of Badlands. We're like, no, this is his best one. I'm like, oh shit.
In my opinion, it is his best one. Yeah.
And that was like his first one. So I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh. Is he like Darren Aronofsky where he just kind of keeps trying to do the same thing but with different subjects?
No, it's more like he sort of gets more as his career goes on, he sort of gets more abstract, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm doing the David Lynch fingers right now, but you know, he does. David Lynch always does the you feel an idea and it comes down to you. That's my terrible David Lynch impression. But like Days of Heaven was the film that he did after Badlands. That's really good, but there's like it's more as his career progresses, it becomes more about the feeling, him trying to evoke a feeling in you as opposed to like, you know, telling a solid narrative story, I guess. By the time you get to movies like To the Wonder and Song to Song, it's like there almost isn't a story anymore. It's just it's almost just like visuals and like how those visuals make you react to them.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I think the next one I want to try or give a shot at is Thin Red Line, which I believe is in the collection.
Yeah.
Stuart, there were so many I put in my cart, but I had to whittle them down. Like I think the cart was up to $330. I'm like, I can't do that. I got to whittle it down.
Yeah.
Whittle it down to my essentials, and these were my essentials because it was a little bit of everything I loved. Let's see.
My typical the typical way that I do it is like, or in the past, my typical way has been like, I have $100 budget, you know, and that's where it lands. This time though, I was like, I'm gonna go a little bit more all out, you know, because
all in.
Yeah, all in. Yeah. So, but typically it's like $100 is like my cutoff.
Yeah. In the past, I only would get two, but like I had enough where I was like, let's go to the casino. Let's play this out. Let's see how many I can get. And I think I got a good bunch. I definitely did. Like I loved High Sierra. Like High Sierra makes me wonder like who's in charge of the Blu-ray menus, because High Sierra has a nicely edited Blu-ray menu. Like it does like a mashup of something I would do, because they use the dialogue and repurpose it with the footage from the movie. I'm like, that's awesome. But then you get to something like a hot, and it's like a production still in the menu, and I'm like, who chooses this? Who decides?
Yeah.
What gives? But yeah, Miller's Crossing was also interesting. I think I'll close with that one because all the other ones are sort of like, you know what, I know what, Marcellus knows about it. Reference Pulp Fiction for those who don't know. Miller's Crossing, that was interesting because it was the first time watch. It's early Coen brothers, so it's kind of new to me because it's like, of course I've seen Raising Arizona. Oh, and I lied. So in my haul video, I said my first Coen brother experience was No Country. It wasn't. It was Lady Killers. I completely forgot about Lady Killers. That was
Sorry
my first.
About that.
I liked it at the time. I'm not so
well.
sorry. I liked it. I haven't seen it since then, but I did like it at the time. But Miller's Crossing is a completely different animal. Because that one, it's like the first scene is like they're naming people you won't see for 30 to 40 minutes into the film. And it's all done in these thick accents because like they're doing Irish, they're doing Italian, and like mobster speak. It's like a lot to take in because I'm like, okay, Mink, Eddie, trying to take all these names in because they're all going to come in later. I think I actually, after the movie was over, I went back to watch like some other scenes just to understand it fully. But like, it was interesting. It's like a more complicated Last Man Standing, or what's it called? What's the first one? Fistful of Dollars? Is that the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's based on Yumbo, which I'll probably have to pick up because of like, I got to see the original now. I've seen all these goddamn revisions and remakes.
You saw the Bruce Willis one.
I saw the Coen brother one. Like, I got to see the original now. But it was a good one. It was a good one. They had some Sam Raimi in there, which was silly. He's hamming it up, even though he doesn't say one line of dialogue. He's hamming it up. And then it was cool to see Frances McDormand. It was like a Rick Dalton point. And then now I got to see Barton Fink because apparently there's some Easter eggs to Barton Fink in this before they made Barton Fink. So now it's another one I got to see. And I find it funny that they've killed Steve Buscemi in all their movies. He got shot in the face in this one. He got put in the wood chipper in Fargo, and then he had a heart attack in Big Lebowski. That's hilarious to me. That works. But it was good.
Quality.
It was good. Oh, also, I think I should close with Rushmore. I 100% miss realistic Wes Anderson because Rushmore and Bottle Rocket are one of my favorites, and I had to choose between the two of them. I was like, which one do I choose? I figured Bottle Rocket. No one's buying Bottle Rocket. I got to get Rushmore. I had to get Rushmore, and it just feels so like there's more breathing room. I don't know. It feels like a movie. It doesn't feel like I'm looking at a painting. It doesn't feel like I'm looking at a storybook. It feels realistic enough, sort of that French New Wave, because of all those cuts. I was doing research on that, and it was so funny that Disney was like, no, we don't want to pay to do all these little inserts. And like, no, the inserts are important. It makes that whole intro amazing. So whenever they had time, they would film those little imports during the shoot because Disney was like, no, we're not going to fund a whole day doing that. But yeah, it was good revisiting that because I think I said previously that I love Wes Anderson, but it was like to a certain extent because I haven't seen Grand Budapest. I haven't seen French Dispatch. And it's just because it's just so disconnected from reality. It is totally like storybook or his vision. And I sort of miss
French Dispatch more than anything. I mean, French Dispatch is like very, very disconnected from reality is a good way to put it. Yeah.
And this new movie, although the cast is great, it just made me want to throw up because it's even more like fake. It's even more like flat. It looks like a freaking like old postcard or like something like that.
It reminds me of Moonrise Kingdom.
Yeah, that was the last one I saw.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, Isle of Dogs. I did see Isle of Dogs, but that's different. Like I'm okay with the stop motion because that's okay. It's away from reality enough. But when it's like live action people wearing the same color palette and the whole frame looks flat, it's like that takes me out. It's like, no, it's not a movie anymore. It's something else. It's something else entirely. It's a Wes Anderson movie. Is what it is. But like, I miss early Wes Anderson. It almost reminds me like how Michael Bay was better when he had like producers breathing down his neck for like Armageddon or The Rock before they let him have a blank check and let him do whatever the hell he wanted. Like they needed that guidance. Wes Anderson and Michael Bay need that guidance from the studio to say no. They're getting paid to do whatever they want, and it's too much. Although Ambulance was great, I'll say. Yeah, that. And I think that's what happens to Michael Bay. Like if you give him less of a budget, he'll be more creative. Because I'm sure.
Yeah, because didn't he do that for like? I think Ambulance was something like 40 million or something
like that. It had to be because that was one of his best movies, and it was probably him working under pressure to be more creative.
And I don't think he's done a movie under 200 million in probably like a decade or more.
But yeah, so I think that's my haul in general because I don't want to really deep dive into the other ones because that's a whole other video. But those are the ones I really wanted to talk about in this show. Is there any that you want to talk about in depth that you purchased?
I will just say that like I'm really glad that Inland Empire came out. Mm-hmm. The only way to get a hold of it before was like the old DVD that they had put out back in like, I don't know, 2007 or something like that. And like, I actually got a hold of one of those a couple of years ago through DVD Netflix just to watch it again. And like the quality on that is not good, you know? So it's like, it's almost like difficult to watch at that point. Yeah. So I know that they did like some kind of like AI process thing where it was like they took standard definition footage and like loaded it into an AI and created like a 4K master out of it. So I am looking forward to watching it. I know that like there was a lot of people who were upset about the fact that like they were not releasing it on 4K. They're only releasing it on Blu-ray. But like, you know, Inland Empire is a 3-hour movie that's confusing as hell. And like is not gonna sell a lot of units. It's really only selling units to like David Lynch completists. Basically. So it's like they're not gonna waste a bunch of money putting it out on 4K.
Yeah. So. And did you have any other topics to talk about before we get into what we think we're gonna get into?
No.
Okay. I guess we're gonna get into it because we have time. We have all the time in the world, Stuart. So,
ladies and gentlemen,
this is it. This is it. This is the end of pilot.
this is what you came here to see.
Yep, this is going to be the title now. I didn't know if we're going to have time, but we have plenty of time.
We're doing it.
We're here for the main event. The thing that happened right before the show where I was like, oh, Stuart, we got to talk about it. So, recently, a little film came out called John Wick Chapter 4. So,
A little independent film
by Lionsgate. And I went to Letterboxd because I installed it on my tablet because I don't have room on my phone anymore. So I installed stuff on my tablet so I could start, calculating movies. So I started reading reviews from my friends, and I got to Stuart's review, and it was nice because it was from 2015. So it was a genuine review from the time. And one of the phrases was John Wick does not add anything to the action genre. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And you're like, no, it doesn't add anything.
Come on now.
That's not the full truth.
You always make me out to be the enemy.
You're the best, though. You're the fun enemy. Because you say the truth. You say the truth because I want to hear your point of view. I want to hear this. Are you only talking about the first movie, or are you talking about the 10 years of John Wick we've had? I want to know.
You said, I love this 2015 review.
Yes.
I said, still accurate too.
That's what it was. Okay.
You replied, you don't think John Wick influenced knockoffs, thus influencing and bringing something new to the genre.
Yeah.
Which I will say, you just said action. I consider John Wick a revenge film.
Oh.
It is technically also an action film, but like I consider its main genre to be revenge.
Okay, so that's what you're saying, to the revenge genre. Because I think in your review you mentioned it brings nothing new to the genre, so I assumed you meant action.
No.
So you mean revenge. Okay. Yeah. There we go. That we cleared that up.
Then now the episode is over. Thanks.
The episode's over. Yeah.
Good time.
We had a good time. I thought we were going to talk about action because I was like, oh my God, Stuart, I'm coming, Elizabeth. Jesus Christ. You didn't think it brought anything to the action genre, but you consider it a revenge movie.
This is so funny that like this whole thing was based on literally like a very simple misunderstanding.
Because in the review,
you consider it one thing and I consider it another.
Because at the time, because it's a nice review. It came out in 2015, so this was before the 10 years of John Wick. I don't even think John Wick 2 came out at the time of this Letterboxd review. So that's why I was thinking that you meant action. Because to me, I consider an action movie, action franchise. It's 10 years of John Wick. I can't believe it's almost 10 years of John Wick already, which is insane.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. But now I see you mean revenge. Oh my God. If you, as a revenge movie, I guess it doesn't have anything new to the genre, but of action, that's my whole point of action, because I was like, you say what Die Hard is, like I want a Die Hard type movie. I want it's another one. I want a Taken like movie, even though it's like a not that great movie. But if you say I want a Taken like movie, you know what it is, so it's at least left some sort of impact. I want a Jaws type movie. I want a Silence of the Lambs movie. I want a Seven type movie. When you say John Wick, you know what a John Wick movie is, and that's why I thought, like, again, this was my point to bring up for action. I was like, when you say John Wick, you know exactly what you're getting. But as a revenge genre.
But here's the thing, and I'm not trying to I'm not trying to say anything negative about like the people behind the franchise and stuff like that. But it's like, to me, what John Wick brings more than anything is like a specific style. So it's like, I'm going to use Kill Bill as a reference because Kill Bill is like the revenge film that I've seen the most, probably. It's the one that I'm most familiar with. It's like, I would go so far as to say that like Kill Bill also does not bring anything original to the revenge genre.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing, it doesn't bring anything new to it. It is just a movie that exists with Quentin Tarantino's style. Like it brings his specific style to it.
Mm-hmm.
And John Wick brings Chad Stahelski's style
To the revenge.
that sort of like I don't know how else to put it, but sort of like wealthy, like the wealthy underworld. You know, that's what John Wick is like. Everybody's like a gangster. Everybody's rich. They're all driving around in fancy cars. They're going to fancy clubs. The Continental is a very nice hotel. You know, they're all wearing suits. You know, there's a very like specific style and feel to that film, and that is from Chad Stahelski and from like the crew that he had that like created that world, you know, and continues to grow that world through all the, you're smiling at me like, here comes the bullshit again.
Because I'm like, my question is, what was the last revenge movie that brought something new to the genre? But we'll get to that. Finish your thought.
It's like, you know, you talk about, you said something about influencing knockoffs. And the thing about it is like, I could understand that if like the majority of the knockoffs weren't also directly related to the John Wick team. Because Atomic Blonde was directed by the guy who co-directed the first John Wick. And Nobody was written by the guy who wrote the first 3 John Wicks. So those are really sort of like all in the family. You know, they were like, hey, this John Wick thing that we did was really successful. So let's figure out how to like repackage that into something else. Like in this one, we'll have like a hot blonde girl be John Wick. In this one, we'll have like a sort of like the normal guy be John Wick. You know, we just need to repackage that and sell the same exact thing over and over and over again, which is what Hollywood does all the time. They like find something that's successful and they just keep making that, you know, over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So I don't think that John Wick particularly like breaks the genre, like brings something like so new to it that it's like, oh wow, like this is a game changer. It's just a matter of like the specific style that, like I said, the specific style that like Chad Stahelski and his team brought to it that makes it interesting. Because there's a lot of revenge films, you know, and they're all kind of the same, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to use Kill Bill again as an example, it's like you could say that BB is the car, is John Wick's Mustang, okay? And the life that she was building in El Paso or wherever it was that she was, that's the dog. So it's like Bill came in and killed the dog, which was the life, and I just hit Wally, sorry about that. Bill comes in and kills the dog that is her life, that she is, because you could look at the wife, this is like really stupid, I know, but like you could look at the wife as Bill and the life that she had with Bill. Okay, she gives that up. Technically, she gives that up, you know, as opposed to having it taken away from her. She gives it up, but she goes to start a new life in El Paso, and she has this wonderful thing, which is her baby that's growing inside of her. And so, like, she gets both of those things taken away from her. So she goes on a mission of revenge to kill all the people that took those things away from her. You know, I mean, from a strictly a genre standpoint, it's like it's the same story.
Yeah.
They're just, John Wick is just wrapping it in a different look and feel.
Right. So I guess we come to my question is, what was the last revenge movie that altered the genre or added something to it?
Well, that I couldn't tell you.
Editor's note: the answer is pig. Me and Stuart talked about it after the show, and the answer is pig. Back to the show.
Okay, so since we got that cleared out,
But I just want to say too, though, that like I genuinely do like those movies. Like I'm not trying to. In my review, I was not trying to say like when I say like it doesn't really bring anything new to the genre. Like I'm not trying to say like, oh, this is like John Wick is a shitty movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Like no, I think I love all of those movies. They're great.
Oh, yeah. Know? And I should say, audience, looking at the camera right now. That review was from 2015, before 2, 3, and 4. Clearly, I think the movie must have just went on DVD, because I think there's like one other review that's from the same time, so it must have went to home video at that time.
Yeah, it probably did, because I don't think I saw the first one in the theater. So
yeah, I was one of the people. I've been with the series since the beginning. I saw John Wick in the theater. I saw John Wick 2 in the theater, John Wick 3, and John Wick 4. And you know what's funny? I remember a lot of people giving John Wick 3 a lot of shit when it came out. Like, oh, it's getting exhausting. It's getting tiring. But after rewatching it, the third one's like the best one.
Yeah, I've always thought that the third one's the best one.
Yeah, but there's like people out there. I know like some people. I don't name names. So I don't want to do that. But like there was people out there who said like the third one was like tiring and just like ran out of gas. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Because after rewatching 2, because I haven't seen 2 in a long time, 2 felt so like sequel. It felt so sequel because you had returning characters, returning plot lines, and it just felt like the first one but bigger. But like, even though I don't really like 2 now, you need that for 3, because 3 builds off of the consequences of the second one, and you need those consequences for the evolve to the third one, which I believe, like a gradient curve. I think the third one's the top. The fourth one kind of wanes for me, but I have to watch it again, because when I saw it, I don't think I was prepared. Honestly, I don't think I was prepared. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to see John Wick this weekend, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to see John Wick. I was like, I'm going to see John Wick. So I don't think I was prepared. Also, Starry was just introduced to Regal, so my large cup was half empty. So I had to leave for the scene. Apparently, was very important. It's him going into the church saying that he's going to go there because he's thinking about his wife. I needed that. I needed that scene. Because at the end, I'm like, what the fuck is he doing this for? Why is he just... But that scene's important. And that was my bathroom break. So I need to see it again.
Yeah.
And the fourth one, I still like, I know you kind of said like it gets a little exhausting, which I agree. It does get a little exhausting, but I thought it was so fun though.
It's almost 3 hours long. I mean,
I didn't feel it. I had to go bathroom, but I didn't feel it.
good on you, because I mean I do like that film, but there is a point where it's just like, especially the
Is it the turnaround, the car scene when they're in that roundabout?
No, it was the staircase to the church.
Oh, I like that part.
There was a point in that where I was just like, guys, like, I can't, like, you just gotta move on.
I can't. Oh my god! I just had a visual like John Wick's going up the stairs and Stewart's just on the stairs. I can't. I can't.
I'm doing like the Family Guy thing where I'm like bent over and holding my knee, and I'm like,
oh, I thought you were Polly from Rocky. I can't hold meat no more. I can't hold meat no more.
Can I say something that might blow your mind a little bit?
Okay, let's hear it. You never saw Rocky.
I have never watched a single Rocky film.
What the fuck?
Not even one.
God damn it. Have you seen the Creeds?
I've seen the first Creed. I was going to try and watch the second one soon because the third one's still in theaters. Yeah. So for some reason I missed the second one when it was in theaters. I don't know why, because I liked the first one. Mm-hmm. So,
well, that's good. You at least saw Creed. You're at least on the boat. Your toe. You dipped your toe in. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with you seeing Creed. You're cool. You're okay in my book. You at least saw Creed. Because Creed is like the only legacy series that I could think of that has done it successfully. Because 3 legacy series came out in 2015. Jurassic World, Creed, and Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
and two of those have shit the bed. Creed has not. Creed has not.
Creed keeps going.
Can't believe you've never seen Rocky though. You're Stewart.
Never
You're
seen
Stewart.
a single Rocky film.
You're Stewart though. That's what blows my mind.
I'm gonna blow your mind just a little bit more. Never seen a single Rambo film.
That's fine. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Because
I accept this.
I accept that, Stuart, but I don't accept you not seeing Rocky. Yeah, honestly, like I accept you not seeing Rambo, because Rambo is one of those ones like that's me. That's me. I don't expect you to see it. That's like you saying, Frank, I've seen Tango and Cash and Demolition Man hundreds of times. It's like I know you're not going to see those. Why would you see those? Have you seen Demolition Man?
Yes.
Damn it. You've seen it.
I've seen Demolition Man, have not seen Tango and Cash.
Okay, good. You're scaring me. It's like, what the hell? Have you seen those? What's going on? Have you seen Cobra?
I have not seen Cobra.
Okay, you're good. You're still okay.
Although I have seen the clip of him cutting the pizza with the scissors so many times, I feel like I almost have seen Cobra.
Cobra is like, it's funny. People share that clip, but like that's the clip I at least think of when I think of Cobra.
Oh, really?
Because Cobra is so like dark, like cult movie. Because at the end they have to like save girls from all that, and he's like, "We are the future." Like, no, your history. There's things like that stick with me. But like the pizza cutting is such a little thing in the movie. I'm surprised people even remember that.
Well,
my Lord.
You know, they find the memeable moments. And then
memeable. I love that. Memeable. That's good. So with John Wick, Stewart. Do you think there's going to be a fifth one?
Well, without spoiling anything, I'm going to say no. I don't think that there's going to be a fifth one. I guess that there is certainly a way that they could do a fifth one, but I'm going to say no. I'm going to say what I think they'll probably do is they will probably work out a spinoff and start a new, it'll be like from the John Wick universe.
The book of John Wick.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also like, I think that I almost hate to say this because it sounds sacrilegious to say, but it's like, it kind of feels like Keanu is maybe getting to a point where he's like, I don't know if I can keep doing, if I can keep doing this anymore.
I felt that with the fourth movie. So spoiler alert, guys. John Wick is, I'm going to swear because I know YouTube doesn't like swearing. John Wick is fucking slow in fourth one. He's fucking slow. And you can tell it. And that's why they made, we call it freaking Donnie Yen blind. Because he would have kicked John Wick's ass so fast. Oh my God. I definitely felt it though, because I watched the movies in reverse order, and it was so funny to see how young Keanu was in the first John Wick. Like he still looked young, but in this new one, he's just like he could barely get up those stairs, bro.
Yeah. he's 59.
What?
So
oh my God, poor man.
I just looked it up. He was born in 64, so he's 59 now. And it's like I'm sure he's probably getting to a point where he's like, I just can't keep up with this. So
let's make him do one more, Stuart. Just one more.
Can we get you to do like a nice round even number, like I don't know, 6?
And if you can make 6, can we film 2 more back to back? Let's make it 9.
And Keanu looks directly at the producer and says, "What do I look like, Tom Cruise?"
That John Wick run.
That's what they'll do. Is there will be a 5th John Wick, and it'll be starring Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise takes over as John Wick.
Before we head out, I did see Dungeons and Dragons, but this will probably be 2 weeks after the movies come out, and hopefully it hasn't flopped out of the theater by now, like Shazam. But Dungeons and Dragons was good. Dungeons and Dragons was a lot of fun.
That's what I hear. I hear from a lot of places that it actually is good. I'm gonna go see it. I wasn't planning on it,
Yeah,
but I've heard such good things that I think I'm gonna go see it.
Stuart, as we talked about earlier, the Marvel, tap out. I'm wondering if it's actually happening. I'm wondering if we're in the new era of movies where people want to see something different. Because like Cocaine Bear made some money, Megan made some money, and I thought Megan was going to flop. Megan made a lot of shitload of money where they're going to make sequels for sure. And what was another movie that came out? Other than John Wick, because I know John Wick made Creed. That was another one that surprised me. The highest grossing sports movie ever.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if people are wanting that human story. They're tired of the superheroes. I wonder. Is it finally happening?
Be because the thing about it is like everything in films runs in cycles, and this specific cycle of like superhero comic book movies has run on way longer than it should have. You usually have probably like a 5 to 8 year cycle, maybe a decade if something is really popular, but it's usually like a 5 to 8 year cycle. And we've been doing, Marvel we've been doing since 2008 with Iron Man.
Yeah.
But if you want to really say that it really started with the first Bryan Singer X-Men movie, that's 2000.
And I feel after COVID, I think we're in a different world now. We want different things from our entertainment. And that, just for example, freaking Top Gun Maverick. Like the highest grossing movie other than Avatar. Avatar stole its thunder. But like people want to see, like I think they want to see people again. Overcoming it. Because I feel like after COVID, it's like we want to see the human story now. Or something outlandish. For example, like a Megan or a Cocaine Bear. And I like how these studios are going back to, how about we make a smaller movie so we make more money?
Well, that's the funny thing about it is like, and I don't want to, take up too much time, but like, back in, I think it was like maybe the 80s. I forget exactly when the time period was, but, the two guys, Jeffrey Katzenberger and the one of the big Disney guys.
Michael Eisner.
They were in
my
charge.
idol.
Yeah, I think it was before Eisner went to Disney. They were in charge over at like Paramount or Warner Brothers or something like that, and they were co-running the studio, and Hollywood was losing tons of money on these big sort of like tentpole films, sort of like what's going on now.
Yeah.
And those two guys developed a, sort of like a system of like, we're going to do, instead of doing like a couple of like big, huge budget tentpole movies, we're going to do a bunch of smaller movies so that if one of those movies tanks, it's not as big of a deal because we know that some of these other ones will come through.
Yeah.
And that ended up sort of becoming like the playbook for Hollywood for a while. The problem is that eventually at some point in time that got reversed again. And everybody said like, oh, look at how much money these like comic book movies and these big science fiction movies and these big tentpole movies are making. Let's all make those. And it went to that for like a long time. So, Top Gun Maverick is a tentpole movie, but it's also a tentpole movie that has an incredible script, amazing actors, great directing, all that kind of, it had all the stuff.
And it had an old actor in it. That's the thing that's surprising as well.
Yeah. Basically the last movie star.
For real.
So, but I think there is a good chance that like we may finally sort of be churning out of that big budget tentpole comic book film kind of thing.
It cycles every 10, 20 years. And I feel like we're finally at that point. And I'm crossing my fingers. I know I've been saying this since the beginning, where I'm like, let's wrap up the Marvel stuff. Because even when Avengers was announced, I'm like, how are you going to do Avengers? That's like 20 characters. That's too much. And now we're beyond that, where I'm like, please.
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up. And it's so funny when they announced that little video of what's his name, James Gunn, saying like, here's the lineup for the DC movies. I'm like, yeah, right. I don't believe it.
Dude, I didn't even watch that video because I just don't care.
Yeah.
But like when I saw the list of stuff he announced, I was like, there's no way that like the audience is that you're going to get the audience from the beginning of that list to the end of that list, because they're gonna completely lose interest by the time you get even halfway, probably. I just want to real quick go back to John Wick for 1 second and say that one of the things that I think is really amazing about that series is the people behind it. The director, because it was the same guy who directed all of them, although he co-directed the first one with somebody else. The same director. The writer, it was like the same writer wrote the first three, and then the writers for the fourth one. All the creative team really truly understand why those movies work.
Yes.
And they lean in on that for every single one.
Right.
Because the thing about John Wick is like, that should work for one movie, maybe two movies. But you managed to get like 4 quality movies out of that.
And the audience still wants more. That's what
and the audience is just as excited for the fourth one as they were for the first one.
Not even, because like the first one was modest. I think it made like maybe 50 million, or not even like 15. It was like a modest hit. Each one is increasingly getting higher, which is insane. Usually it goes down.
Yeah.
They're getting high. The fourth one is the highest grossing John Wick. And that's why they're like, well, we can't kill the golden goose now. The audience still wants them. It's like, yeah. So they know what makes the universe work. And the thing about that is it's not universe building. It's like, there's got to be like a different term for it, but I like what John Wick does, but I don't like what Marvel does for building universes. It's almost like Marvel is too focused on the next one.
Yeah.
They're not focusing building on the world within this one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the weird thing. And
100%.
I think they need to pivot in order to keep the audience there and for us to keep wanting more. On that note, let's wrap this up. Because I think we talked about a good amount of stuff for this episode. Yeah. So I don't know when we're going to do the next one. Sometime in the future, at some point.
I guess whenever we come up with the next topic.
The next topic, because this one I thought we were going to have a whole debate about John Wick, but it was just like, oh, misunderstanding. Oh, we both love these movies.
Yeah, it's like I thought, like I said, I thought it was going to be like a whole like hour-long thing where we were going to be talking about it. It's like, oh, okay, that's that.
Yeah, that's right. I thought so too, but then you're like, oh, you see it as action? I see it as revenge. It's like, oh, yeah, then you're right. It adds nothing to the revenge thing. Next, we'll think of something for another topic. I've been trying to talk about Back to the Future with this man, but he's like, I need time.
Yeah, I will make some time to like rewatch them all, and maybe
the behind the scenes.
Yeah, watch some of the behind the scenes, because like I still haven't watched. I bought that 4K box like back in like 2020, I think, or something like that, and like I still haven't watched any of the stuff on that. So
yeah. I'm trying to get this man to do it. I'm trying to get him to do it, and he's like, I need time. I need rest. Oh, and one more thing before we head out. God damn it! I can't believe they're actually doing a revival of Scott Pilgrim. That blows my fucking mind.
I don't understand what the point of that is.
I don't get it. I don't know what more is there to say, and why are they reviving something that no one cared about when it came out?
I mean, the weird thing is like, if the guy who originally wrote the comic book series, if he was like, okay, I'm going to do it like a continuation of this, and we'll do it as an anime, and we'll just get some voice actors or whatever. but it's the fact that like they're getting together that specific group of actors that were in the movie to do it. It's like that. It's just weird to me.
Yeah,
That whole thing is weird.
It is weird because like, isn't it the same story? It's not even like a continuation. It's like the
Yeah,
animated version.
I think they're just making it as a cartoon. The way that I understand it is they're making a cartoon that's going to have everything that the comic book has in it.
The Watchmen Ultimate Cut.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I'm gonna head out, go bathroom, go watch a movie, go have some dinner. But yeah, thanks, Stuart. This has been fun.
It has been. We should do it more often.
I know, but I know you're like, but I'm busy, Frank. I can't see you until like 3 weeks from now. I'm like, okay, Stuart. So this episode, if I edit it, I think it will be out on the 16th. It'll give me at least a week or two to edit it, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's cool.
That should be good. But yeah, thanks, Stuart.